In early 2008, we saw piracy off the east coast of Africa surge drastically, where armed criminals and pirates targeted merchant vessels transiting the Gulf of Aden and Indian Ocean region. This area became known as the high-risk area due to the dangers posed to seafarers and the risk to commercial vessels and their cargo. Over the years that followed, the shipping industry as a whole suffered tremendous losses from hijacking and kidnap for ransom, and many people, both at sea and on land, were affected forever as a result. In response to this modern wave of piracy and ongoing attacks, several industry initiatives were launched. One of the solutions, which was for me arguably the most effective deterrent to piracy, was the employment of privately contracted armed security personnel. Men like myself who had gained extensive experience in the military and had served in complex and hostile environments around the globe were now employed to protect seafarers and commercial shipping from this new menace at sea. In the height of piracy in 2011, there were more than 1,000 hostages and in excess of 40 ships being held by Somali pirates illegally. Some of those crew members never made it home. This story is the tragic tale of 6 former British soldiers, collectively known as the Chennai Six, who whilst protecting innocent people and doing a job that they had been employed to do, were caught up in one of the biggest miscarriages of justice that the maritime world has ever seen.
My name's Yvonne McHugh and I am Billy Irving's fiancée.
I'm Joanne Tomlinson and my younger brother is John Armstrong.
I'm Lisa Dunn and I'm the sister of Nick Dunn. Nick is my younger brother and he's an absolute character. He's full of life. He's quite a jovial, happy character and he loves his family and friends.
Billy is just an incredible person. He is phenomenal at any musical instrument he picks up. He loves writing music and that's been a big part of our life and a big part of Billy's life in prison as well.
John's absolutely fantastic. He's really good fun, very popular in our local town and he's always played a lot of sports. He's a boxer, he does running, he even plays lawn bowls. He's just such a big character and that's why there's such a big hole in our family while he's been gone.
On the 12th of October 2013, the Seaman Guard Ohio vessel, which had 35 crew members on board and included the Chennai Six, was experiencing some rough weather conditions and in desperate need of fuel. The vessel came close to the port of Tuticorin off the south coast of India to pick up some vital resupplies. Vessels with security teams on board have to discharge and pick up cargo every day. I too have done this myself many times over the years without any issues to report. The Seaman Guard Ohio vessel, however, which was intercepted and boarded by the Indian Coast Guard and naval authorities, was invited into the port of Tuticorin for further inspection to clarify exactly what they were doing.
The last time I saw Nick was in September 2013 and I actually dropped him off at the airport and
We got a text message off John to explain that the ship he was on had been impounded in India, but he told us not to worry at all. It was a standard paperwork check. But the last time we heard from him was a text message which just said, "Tell Mum and Dad I love them," and I knew something had gone wrong.
Everyone on board from the cook right up to the captain and of course the armed guards were arrested under an Indian Arms Act. It's completely understandable why any country in the world would want to investigate anyone carrying arms near their territory. What isn't clear though is why these men, who were professional and experienced maritime security advisors, are still being held today as criminals, like terrorists, when it was very clear that they were providing a much needed service to the international maritime community by protecting commercial vessels and the crews on board.
I didn't understand what they'd been arrested for or how they could be arrested. So it scared me, it scared the living daylights out of me, and it still does to this day that something like this can happen.
From the day the Seaman Guard Ohio was brought into port in India, all 35 men have had their human rights violated. When they were first taken from the ship, they were told they were being taken to hospital, and instead they were taken round to the back of a courthouse, where they were then remanded into custody. They were forced to sign documents that were untranslated, and they were refused access to a lawyer. They then went to prison for 6 months. And then after they were released from prison and all charges were dropped against them, they were then held without charge in India for 1.5 years and refused their travel documents. They've then been put back into Purzal prison, where they were sentenced to 5 years.
These proud British men, who are all veterans of modern conflicts, have spent more than 4 years detained in India, including the last 2 in the Chennai Central prison.
The conditions that the men are experiencing are really, really hard going. They're extremely tough. There's no facilities for washing. The heat is so intense. They've often gone into the kitchen to prepare their meals, and there's been human feces in the kitchen. These conditions, they're not fit for humans. They're certainly not fit for innocent men.
It brings hope and faith to me that so many people have started to take notice of this injustice and want to help the Chennai Six. And it is needed because any right-thinking person cannot help but feel outrage and dismay at this miscarriage of justice that they face currently.
Knowing that they're not alone in this fight for their freedom boosts them tremendously. And as the campaign grows and the support grows, that just gives them so much hope that they will be coming home. We just, at this moment, don't know when that day will be.
Anyone can support the Chennai Six. It doesn't have to cost money. All it takes is just to click onto our website to sign our petition, to tell your friends, your family, your neighbour, tell your postman, tell anyone at all, anything at all to show them that they're not forgotten, and to help the families as well. We just love hearing that we have people behind us and we're not doing this alone.
As you watch this video today, the men still sit in a prison cell at the other side of the world, away from all their families and loved ones, and still no closer to coming home. It is imperative that the Chennai Six know there is a light at the end of this long and tragic tunnel, and it is our duty to keep the momentum in this campaign for justice. There are many ways that you can help support the Chennai Six, which will let them know people value their contributions, not only to their country, but also to the international maritime community of which they serve, and who also want to see their immediate release.
Hello, just a quick thank you to everyone who signed the petition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.